Oh, good morning. It's my morning. And I'm going to give a sort of an instructional video on how to do an outline because this has been requested several times from students. It's complicated. And so, because I've already written my paper, and so I'm not going to be able to use my paper, so I'm going to have to use your information. All right. And I want to show you this general idea. And we're basing this upon the main research questions, the way I've redone it. So this is based upon the newer suggestion, all right? Okay, so let's begin. Let's talk about this and see if we can understand it. So what I'm going to do is share this screen, and I'm going to pop you over to here and go to what I posted on Moodle for you. So I gave you two examples here of covenant, and here's the main question. How does the way Moses uses the word covenant in Genesis through Deuteronomy give us insight into the concept of covenant and its application to biblical theology in the Torah? All right, so there's your question. And I then have three main sub-questions under your main question. These three main sub-questions are now my three main points for my outline. So my outline is going to start with the question. And then what it will have is point A, how does Moses use the word covenant? And then under that, there will be your questions that are going to seek to answer, how does Moses use the word covenant? So you're going to just talk about, well, what patterns do we see, or whatever you're going to say based upon your research, based upon your keywords, and based upon your galleries. See, so what's going on then is what you're going to do is you're going to base your outline on answering the question, how does Moses use the word covenant? Because that's your point A. And you can either have the points under it. Probably it's best to have them all as questions. The reason why it's good to have them as questions is because if you write them as questions, it forces you to make sure that you're asking the right things. But remember, the questions are specifically asking questions that fit, how does Moses use the word covenant? So the questions that you're going to ask, you're going to look at your brainstorming, you're going to look at your gallery and see the different galleries that you've done, and you're going to say, okay, well, based upon this, here are the three questions that come out of that. And I can't do that for you. I mean, I could do it for you, but I'm not going to. It's a lot of work, and you're the ones that are actually doing the research. You know more about your subject than I know about your subject, because you're actually looking at all of these occurrences of the word. And so they're going to do the same thing with the second one. What does the way he uses the word covenant help us understand God's covenants with man? So again, you're going to be looking, you're going to be asking questions. Well, how does he use the word covenant between humans and humans? And what does that mean? And you're going to be asking those questions. So what you do when you write this paper is your main question is going to be at the top of the page, and then A. And then you're going to take your main sub-question, and then the points under that will be your sub-question. So let's see. So main question. How does the way Moses uses the word covenant in Genesis through Deuteronomy give us? So I'm just going to do that because I don't want to do that. Okay. And then A. And you're going to just do the first question. And that's your first point. How does Moses... And then you're going to have points under that. Now, if you want to do, you can do Roman numeral 1 if you want. You could do that. You could do numbers. So you're just going to have the points under that you'll have. Oh. I can't say how many you're going to have. It just depends on your galleries. Okay. Then you're going to have your second question, which is, what does the way he uses? And then you're going to have a third, and then you're going to put your underlying questions under it. And then you'll have a third. And I don't know how many sub-questions you're going to, sub-questions you're going to have. But your goal in doing this is your outline is, here are all the questions I'm going to try to answer. And then your paper is answering those questions in the order that you have it in your outline. You don't write those questions in your paper. You don't do that. But you always are answering those questions in your mind. You're using your outline to say, here are all of the questions I'm going to answer in my paper. And those questions come from your brainstorming. They come from your looking at your galleries. They come from what you've learned in your topic. All of your main three sub-questions, are answering your main research question. All of your sub-questions are answering your sub-question, okay? So that's what you have to do. So once you figure out how to do that, and once you get that put together, then what you've got is your paper is going to be more informative and well organized because your paper is answering the questions that are really important. So I don't really have anything more to say about this. So what that means is that you need to make sure that you've got really good question, and then good sub-questions, and then good sub-questions. And that's going to make you maybe go back over your questions and make them better. Because every question in the end has to in some way be answering your main research question. All of the sub-questions, you've got like 3 or 4, and then all of the sub-questions, all of them in the end are answering your main question. And it's very important that as you write each paragraph, all you're doing is answering the question. You don't write the question, I already said that, but you don't write the question, but you do write the answer to the question. And by doing that, what you have done for your reader is you're giving them information in an orderly way that's going to help your reader to be able to process all of this information you're giving. Okay, so honestly, at the end of your paper, you should be able to sit down and have your outline there on the left and have your paper there on the right, and you should be able to read each paragraph and go, okay, that's answering that question. Okay, that paragraph is answering that question. Okay, that paragraph is answering that question. And by doing that, you've organized your whole paper in a way that makes sense, it's easy to follow, and it's informative. If you have any questions, about what I just said, if you have any questions about it, please ask me. I'm very happy to have appointments with all of you so we can talk about this together. I've already talked to 4 people. Very delighted to talk to all 4 of those people again, and the 6 rest of you as well. No, I guess I've talked to 5 people. Well, whatever. I've talked to some people. And so I would love to talk to all of you this week so that we can make sure we nail this down, because I want you to get this, what the point of all of this is, okay? So God bless you, take care, and hopefully I'll see you this week.